Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Aman Codes. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about additional programs that are in loops and conditional statements. The concepts of loops and conditional statements we are going to apply on some programs. Now I'm going to explain some additional programs. See here, I'm going to explain infinite loop example and number to Roman number example and student mark report example. So in today's episode, we are going to discuss these three examples. So let's start this infinite loop example. So now I'm opening PyCharm, see here. So I'm going to create a new file that is voter example1.py. See here, this is my file. Now I'm going to do one program in order to check whether a person is eligible to vote or not. A as an input, A is equals to int of input of enter your age. I'm going to declare one if else statement. I'm going to declare a test condition a greater than or is equals to 18. Then you are old enough to vote. In the sense, if a is going to greater than or equals to 8, it is going to print your age is 18, so you are eligible for vote. If the age is going to be less than 18, then what happens? Then else block is going to be executed. Here, you are not eligible to vote. So see here, I'm trying to execute this program. If I entered 18, then see your age is 18, so you are eligible for vote, right? So I'm going to re-execute again, trying to enter age as 10. See here, your age is 10, so you are not eligible for vote, right? So this is one example. Now I'm going to create one another file, voter example2.py I'm going to create. So I'm going to take the same information what we have here and I'm going to place here. So this is voter example2. So after this, I'm going to take one loop, that is while loop. In that, I'm going to write condition as like this. So while true, I'm going to use. So whenever I use while true, then it is going to be an infinite loop. So indentation required, right? So whenever we wrote while of true, it is going to repeat the loop infinite times. If any break statements are present, then it is going to break at that particular condition based. So there is no break statements, then it is going to repeat the loop infinitely. I'm going to execute this program. I'm going to enter my age as it in. See here. So you are not eligible for vote, right? Again, it is going to ask our age. If I enter 45, you are eligible for vote, right? Again, it is going to ask 67. So it is asking again and again, but it is not going to stop, right? See here, when I entered, again asking. When I entered, again asking. So 19, again asking, giving output and asking again. So like this, it is going to be infinite number of times. So there is no break statement in our program, right? So that is the reason it is going to be an infinite loop. So when you give an input, then it is going to produce output and then it is again going to ask you an input. Again you enter, again giving output and asking input. This is going to be repeat infinite times. So this is an infinite loop example. So if we write break statement, so after printing you are eligible, I'm going to declare here break statement. Then here I'm going to declare like this. So if you are not eligible, try again. I'm going to print like this. See here. Now I'm going to execute this program. See, I entered age called 10. Output is going to be your age 10. So you are not eligible for vote and it is going to print try again also. So try again until your age is going to be greater than 18. It is going to repeat the loop. See here, if I enter 12, then it is also asking 15, asking again. 17 also asking again. If you enter 18, then it is going to break. See, process finished with execute code 0, right? In the sense, we got exited from the program. Your age is 18, so you are eligible for vote. Whenever break statement presents, so it is going to terminate the loop. It is going to stop the iterating of loop. So this is infinite loop example. So we have completed this infinite loop example. Next we are going with number to Roman number. Assume that we are giving input 100. Then it should be print that equivalent Roman number for this 100. So in order to do this thing, we want some data. In the sense, in Roman numbers, for 1, we are going to declare like this, right? So for 2, we are going to declare like this. And for 3, we are going to declare 3 like this, right? So if we are going to 4, we are going to declare like this, right? So for 1, it is going to be like this. For 100, it is going to be something, right? So in order to know that, I am going to show one data. See here. So this is my data present here. When it is 1 as a number, so converting 1 to Roman number is going to be like this. And 4, when it is 4, it is going to be IV. When it is 5, it is going to be like this, V. So when it is going to be 9, then it is going to be IX, like that, right? So when it is 10, like this, X. When it is 40, then XL. 50, L. 90, we are going to call it as XC. For 100, we are going to call it as C. In the sense, when end user enter the input as 100, then the output should be C, right? So for that, we have to know this document, right? So without this data, we can't execute that program. So for 400, we have to print CD. For 500, we have to print D. For 900, we have to print CM. For 1000, we have to print M. So these are the representation of Roman numbers. So these are the normal numbers. When it is going to be 1, we are going to use while loop. When it is going to be 10, we are going to use while loop. When it is going to be C, in the sense 100, we are using while loop. When it is going to be M, in the sense 1000, we are going to use while loop. Remaining all cases, we are using if. Simple if we are going to use. See here, if, right? In order to demonstrate this looping statement and conditional statement, this conversion of number to Roman number is going to be best example. Now we are going to implement this type of thing in practical way. See here, I'm going to PyCharm. See here, I'm going to create one new file. So my program is going to be number to Roman number.py. I'm going to take an numeric number as an input, right? So here I'm going to take a new object called n is equals to int of input of, I'm going to type here. So I'm going to display this thing, enter a number in order to convert. So I'm going to take this. So I'm going to print in output like this, enter a number to convert equivalent Roman. So whatever the user entered, it is going to convert into int and it is going to stored in n, right? If that value is going to be negative value, then what happens? Then it should be print as output, right? So in output, it should be print like this, invalid input. So invalid input. It should be displayed like this, because so for negative numbers there is no Roman numbers, right? So that is the reason n less than or equals to 0. In the sense n is a negative, then print invalid. So in else I'm going to do. So here we have to take 1000. For this 1000 we have to take while loop, right? Now I'm going to declare while loop for 1000. See here, I'm going to take, here I'm going to use n greater than or equals to 1000. So n may be greater than or equals to 1000. So when n greater than or equals to 1000, then it is going to print m, and then we are removing that value from that n. So n contains the remaining values. 900 we have. For that 900, it is going to show cm as an output, and we are going to use if, right? So see here, I'm going to take that thing. Here, if the number is going to be greater than or equals to 900, then it is going to print in output like this. CM it is going to print. After that, so it is going to subtract the number. So after that, we are going to take one another if. See here, according to this data, for 500, we have to print D. See here, n is equals to, n is going to be greater than or equals to 500. So D I'm going to print off. So in order to print the output as same line, we are going to declare end is equals to double quotes, right? So after that, I'm going to subtract the number. See, come to the data and observe here. For 400 also, we are going to use if, right? So if I'm going to declare like this, n is going to be greater than or equals to 400, then trying to print CD and try to subtract that 400. So CD completed. When we are going to 100, it is going to print output as a C, and we have to use while loop. See here, I'm going to declare while loop. When I'm going to declare while loop, when n is greater than or equals to 100, then the output is going to be print C. I'm going to use if n greater than or equals to 90. So if n greater than or equals to 90, I have to use here XL, and I'm going to subtract that 90 from the n, right? So come here and see the next thing. Here for 50, it is going to be L. So we have to use simple if, right? If n is going to be greater than or equals to which 50, right? The value is 50, right? So then after that, we are going to print L, and we are going to subtract that 50 from n. See here, after that, we are declaring another if n greater than or equals to 40, it should print XL as an output, and we have to use if only. See here, I'm going to print XL as an output. I'm going to subtract that 40 from n. The next data is going to be like this. We completed up to 40, right? So the next is going to be 10. For 10, we have to print output as X. Loop, we have to use that is while loop. See here, I'm going to use while n greater than or equals to 10. I'm going to print X, and I'm going to remove that 10 from that n. And I'm going to use if n greater than or equals to 9, I'm going to print ix, and I'm going to remove that 9 from that value n. So next, another thing, I'm going to use if only. For that if, I'm going to print v as an output, and I'm going to remove that value from that n. See here. So the same thing is going to be repeated, but the statements is going to be changed. So in the place of 10, we are going to use this while loop. So in the place of 40, we are going to use this if. Already you know why we are using if, why we are using while, right? And I'm going to take another if n greater than or equals to 4. If n greater than or equals to 4, I'm going to print iv, and I'm going to remove that 4 from that en value. We have to use simple if for 4, 5, 9. That is the reason I used. So for 9, 5, 4, I used simple if only. When we are going with 1, so when we are going with 1, we have to use while loop, and in output it should be print like this, right? So see here, and I'm trying to declare the thing while n greater than or equals to 1, and I'm going to print output is going to be like this I, and after that I'm going to remove that value from the n. See here, I'm going to remove n is equals to n minus 1. So this is the condition parts we are declared in order to convert number to Roman number. See here, I'm going to stop the program here, and I'm going to execute the program. Try to understand, when I give input 545, the equivalent Roman number is going to be DXLV. So try to understand one thing. So when I give input as 545, right? So for this 545, output is going to be like this. DXLV. Is this right or wrong? We are going to see right now. So see here, I'm going to take this program, and I'm going to explain this program for you line by line. So n is equals to 540, that is going to be stored in n. So firstly, n is equals to 545 is going to be stored in n, right? So after that, it is going to check this condition, n less than or equals to 0. No, it is not, right? Then it is going to be false. When if is going to be false, it is going to else part. In this else, we are declared one while loop. N greater than or equals to 1000. Is n greater than or equals to 1000? False, right? So when while is going to be false, then it is going to skip the indentation block, and it is going to enter next statement. We declare the next statement as a simple if, right? So n greater than or equals to 900. N is 545. Is 545 greater than 900? Not, right? So it is also false. Then it is also not going to be executed this block of statements, and the flow is going to be another statement. So here we declared simple if again. If this n in the sense 545 greater than or equals to 500, yes, true, right? So it is going to print in output D. So assume that this is an output window. At first it is going to print D. So D we got as an output, and here in this line number 14 we are going to do one thing, that is we are going to take that n value as 545, and we are going to remove that 500 from this 545 and we are going to store this value in n. Then n is going to be updated as 45, right? Why 45? Because we are removing 500 from 545 and 545 minus 500 is going to be 45. The n value is going to be updated with 45. So this is main point. After that, it is going to check another simple if statement. Here 45 is greater than 400? No, right? 45 is not greater than 400. In the sense, it is false. It is not going to execute this indentation block. It is going to line number 18 and in 18 it is going to check like this. If n greater than or equals to 100, no, it is also false. Then it is also not executing this block of statements and it is going to if, simple if line number 21. Is n greater than or equals to 90? No, wrong, right? So that is the reason it is also not going to execute this block of statement. So here it is going to be like this. N value is 45. 45 greater than 90? No, right? So it is not going to execute this block of statement. It is going to execute this simple if n value is 45, 45 greater than 50, false. Then it is not going to execute this block. So then the flow is going to come to next simple if it is here n in the sense 45 greater than or equals to 40. Yes, it is true. Then it is going to print output as Excel. So we are used end is equals to double quotes for every print statement, right? So that is the reason it is not going to print in new line. It is going to continue in same line. Same line, the value XL is going to be get as an output. After that, XL is going to be print. It is going to remove that value, which is greater than 40, right? So it is going to remove that 40 value from that n. In the sense, n is going to be 45 previously. We are going to remove that 40. Then it is going to store that value in n. So the n value is going to be right now is 5 because 45 minus 40 is going to be 5, right? So the n value is updated to 5. Next, it is going to check this while loop. N is going to be greater than or equals to 10. It is false. N is 5, right? So it is not executing these statements and it is going to check another simple if. N value is 5. We are declared 9. 5 greater than 9. False. It is also not executing. Next, 5 we declared here. N value is 5 and greater than or equals to 5. It is true. Greater than or equals to, right? So 5 is equals to 5. It is true. It is going to print V as an output. It is not going to print in new line. It is going to print in same line. Why? We are declared n is equals to double quotes. So here, so it is going to append V to this previous outputs. After that, it is going to remove that value from that n. So we are previous value of n is 5. We are removing that 5 from 5. It is going to store the value in n. So the n value is going to be 0 because 5 minus 5 is going to be 0, right? So here, after that, we are declared another simple if. So simple ifs are going to be executed, right? Even though we got output, even though value is 0. So see here, n is greater than or equals to 4, false. It is not executing this block of statements. So here n value is going to be 0. See, 0 is greater than 4? No. Then it is not going to execute this block. 0 is greater than 1? No. Not going to execute this block. So up to this, what we got as an output, that output is going to be displayed in output window. We got DXLV and first we executed, then we got DXLV as an output, right? Now try to cross check. See here, I'm going to remove this all and I'm going to execute this program. See here, and I'm going to execute 545. See what we got DXLV. We did manually, we got DXLV. So we executed the program. So we got DXLV. So the both are matching, right? Then this program is going to be work. So not only this value, if you are trying to give any value like this. So if I try to give value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be like this. So this is all about the program number to Roman number. So in today's episode, we are completed 2 additional programs on loops and conditional statements. See, we got completed infinite loop example and we got completed number to Roman number example. So in upcoming episodes, we are going to see student mark report with validations. With test case validations, we are going to see this student mark report program. So that's all for today's episode. I hope you all understand. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Aman Coach. Thank you so much for watching.